Hello, this is part one of a presentation intended to give a description of input and output streams to and from a file. I've gone ahead and pre-built a small program here that is, you'll see the output of this program show up in the next video, but until we get there, I'll just show you what I'm building here and how it all comes into play. The first thing I want to point out is I have IOStream and FStream includes at the top of my program. So the FStream is what's going to allow us to use the to file and from file functionality. As we look down a little further, we have our using namespace standard as we're used to seeing, and we get into our int main. You're going to see our first, this is upstream out fs is what I'm naming our variable for our OF stream. I'm going to use this in a number of places. In fact, immediately the next line of real code we see, we have outfs.open and a little string of text that looks like a file name. Now, if I come down here to the project directory, you will notice that there is no file of that name in here. It turns out it's not actually necessary to pre-build a file you're going to open this way, which is kind of cool. I'll show you in a little bit when we look at the output of this that file has been created over here. Alright, after we open our file, we're going to check and see if the file is open. This is one of those steps that you just get used to. It's a pain to remember at first that you can't just open it and start using it. You really want to make sure that it's open before you start doing things to it. So we do if, notice this bang, that exclamation point is going to negate the output of this next thing we do. So generally if you ignore the bang, we have outfs.isOpen. So that's a function asking if out.fs is open. If it's ignoring the bang, that's going to return a yes if it's open, a no if it is not open. With the bang, that is going to return a no if it will return a yes if the file is not open. I repeat, it will return a yes if the file is not open. So if the file is not open, then we enter into this if, and it's going to print out for whatever reason the file you requested could not be opened, and it will return a 1. A 1, as you all I'm sure remember, shows an error happened. So that is going to basically it'll blow up our file or blow up our program. I noticed I did a copy and paste, which ended up breaking my tabbing that I liked. So give me just a moment. This is part of the joy of programming is fixing and rebuilding all of the stuff that you do and trying to get your formatting correct. So I could cut this out, but it's not bad that you see that I make mistakes, because we all make mistakes. Alright, I have my tabbing the way I like it. Alright, so after we get past this, we'll assume that the file is open correctly. We can come down here into write some stuff into file. Now, I wrote this and I made a mistake when I built it. We'll see if you can figure out what the mistake is. What I actually wanted this to output is all of the integers between 1 and 100. If you look at it real closely, you will see that it doesn't do that. I'll give you a second to think about what it does do while I move ahead to show you the rest of this. So this is going to be a for loop. We've all seen for loops before. Starts with a number, goes until this other number. increments at the anytime that it doesn't meet this condition. Once we get into the for loop, we're going to out.fs. You'll notice it's the same variable we built up here for our OF stream. We are going to send the variable I into outfs and an end line. And it will go until it reaches 100 or until it's right below 100. Remember, do not leave your file open. Doing so can cause problems later. So this is one of the big things that we're picking up on in this chapter is if we're going to open a file, you need to make sure you close that file when you're done with it. Once I've completed this for loop, I'll be done with that file. So I will close it and return 0 because everything went properly. Alright, so we'll go ahead and build this thing. I'm going to have that go here, press any key to continue. Notice down here at the bottom, build, 1 succeeded, 0 failed, 0 up to date, blah blah blah. Alright, if I jump over to my local directory again, you will see fizzbuzz, fizzbuzz input.txt. Opening that, oh, look what happened. So what I wanted is I wanted output from 1 all the way to 100. I have 0 to 99. Well, common off by 1 error. I'm going to fix that by changing that to a 1, and this is going to be greater than or less than or equal to. Let's go back here. I will delete this file, not change the name. I will delete this file and run the program again. I'm going to run it without control this time so it doesn't make me look at the console. Let's check fizzbuzz input. We have 1 all the way up through 100, which is exactly what I wanted. So the really important things that we covered here would be the include F stream. Obviously we're going to need the IO stream here. We are going to define our variable of OF stream. We're going to use it to open the file. We're checking to see if the file opened correctly. Down here we are going to use that same variable to output a number. Now I could have given this an actual number, a 1, a 2, a 3. I could have given it text. There, you can have anything you want to output in there, and I'll show you some of that in the next one of these that we do. We have outfs close because we are done with the whole OF stream, and that is the end of our program.